Why did John Major win and George Bush lose?
Do you want to answer that first, or shall I? Well, you've got to be careful, obviously, of just making comparisons that may be glib and not really stand up. But I think that, in the end, John Major benefited from a very large extent to the fact that he took over from Margaret Thatcher, and therefore there was a sort of change of, almost people thought there was a change of government before the British election when Margaret Thatcher went and John Major took over. And I think in some ways the Democrats had an advantage here in that President Bush was very much saddled with the problems of the economy and so forth. And despite our best efforts, Mr. Major wasn't held responsible for those in quite the same way that President Bush was held responsible for the problems here in the United States. So, I mean, there are all sorts of differences, but I think that that was one of the key ones.
Well, I suppose what Tony's saying is that John Major wasn't known and George Bush was. People knew the record of the Republican administration, not just over George Bush's years, but over the years in which he was vice president to Ronald Reagan. And I think there was a tiredness, as far as I can see, in the administration, and there was a sense that they couldn't solve the big economic problems.